right, as we again highlight women in some of these fields and industries that are quite outstanding, we cannot avoid them if we're going to have the socio-economic development, accounting being one of them. And so in our Tech Note this morning, we get to focus on the importance of accounting in 2024. I am Priscilla Regina Naloga. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Now, to give you the backbone of this discussion, amidst concerns about inflation, rising interest rates and potential looming recession, finance leaders were winding down 2023 with caution and also measured optimism for business growth. Of course, this mixed output presents an ongoing challenge as well as opportunity at the same time. Now, preparations, as always, is key if businesses are to excel. The accountancy profession here in Uganda may be young, but growing steadily and progressively. Accounting and auditing practices in Uganda do suffer from institutional weaknesses in many forms, but the profession nevertheless strives to excel and go through the confines of accountancy here in Uganda. Now, I do have a lady to help me break down this profession, its benefits, and why you need a professional to be able to boost your business. So the theme for this Women's Day is empowering women in leadership for economic growth. And so we do have Professor Laura Orobia. She is the chairperson for the Public Accounts Examination Board. Perfect person to be with us here. Good morning to you, Professor.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Okay. All right, we are also joined by Mr. John Bosco Ntangaare, Director Education, CPA. And good morning to you. You're most welcome.
Good morning, Priscilla.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Now, the task I'm first giving you is to, give or send to Professor and other women in the accounting profession a Women's Day message.
The Women's Day message, that accountancy is something that is doable, and it's not a male-dominated profession. It is something that the ladies can also key into, and these days it's a requirement that if you are to practice in the accountancy space, you must have the qualification.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ntangaare, you are one who is being supportive of these women since the 90s, and from where you seated, are the women picking up the challenge of becoming professional in the accounting industry?
From my perspective, where I sit,
yeah,
the women are picking up. Most, about 51% of the students are women. And when it comes to performance, you find the ladies are performing the men. And we've been tracking this. So women, in the next coming years, the women will be the majority for in the profession. That's what I see, if the trend continues.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as women, we say thank you so much for your support and continuously encouraging the women to take on the accounting profession. Now, speaking of the professional side of accounting, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda is well established here in Uganda. And of course, we do have people who are continuously going through that institute to get certified as accountants in the professional level. Let's talk about the institute and what milestones it's been able to hit so far and its functionalities.
Thank you. The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda is still young, having been established in 1992, started operations in 1995, and started the qualifying examinations in 1997 with 44 candidates. But now when we sit at an examination center, you find we have about 6,000 students at a sitting, which I think is a very important milestone. We started by inheriting people who had done other professional accountancy courses, but now we are able to produce our own professional accountants in the country. And Professor Laura, who is the chairperson of the Public Accountants Examinations Board, has all the numbers. The institute was started in a one-room, renting a one-room. Now we have our own home on Okoto Street in Kamocha. And we are still expanding. In terms of membership, we are members of the International Federation of Accountants. I think we are the only profession which has a global home, International Profession of Accountants. We are members of the Pan-African Federation of Accountants, which is a continental body. We are members of the Association for Education Assessment in Africa because we conduct professional accounting exams. So it is important to affiliate with those bodies so that the qualification we offer is accepted internationally. And of course, as you know, we regulate and maintain the standard of accountants in Uganda, and we have been able to adopt standards for financial reporting, for public sector, for auditing, even the educational standards, we apply them in our syllabuses, and that is very important. Okay. We also regulate and conduct, regulate the conduct of accountants and practicing accountants, so we discipline accountants. We have a course court. If any accountant is errant, a member of the public is free to report the accountant to the institute, and there will be a disciplinary process which that accountant will go through. And if he or she is not satisfied, can appeal the decision. And if at the end, if they appeal, one of the parties is not satisfied, they can now go to the High Court. So those are very important milestones as far as we are concerned. And of course, Professor will be talking about the number of accountants who are, for instance, in government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Professor, for that matter, she's the Chairperson, Public Accounts Examination Board. In that regard, we want to have an assessment of how the profession has actually been appreciated both in public and private sector.
Okay. What I would like to say here is, first of all, the institute boasts about producing the accountants, the professional accountants in the country. And this we have done through the 3 courses, that is accountancy, accounting technician diploma, the certified tax advisor, and the certified public accountant courses. And to date, cumulatively, we can say that we have 1,840 graduates on for the ATD, and then CTA, which is still new, has 81, and then CPA, that is a certified public accountant course, has 4,970. Our graduates play various roles in the economy or in their various spaces. For instance, in accounting, auditing, tax, business advisory, treasury management, and so forth. Also in academia, yeah, we do that teaching. We have accountants in academia. Yeah, so between 1992 and 2000, like my colleague had already mentioned, central government had only 4 qualified accountants, but today this number has grown. Yeah, we have over 450 accountants in central government, and then 160 internal auditors. At Makerere University Business School, we have like 26 with employees with the qualification. Yeah, so some of our members are serving as CEOs and board members in various organizations. Yes, and I would like to also add this, that practicing accountants play a critical role, yeah, a critical role in providing opinions on the financial statements, which is very important for the different stakeholders. We have the bankers who are interested in this information. We have the tax authorities. We have the owners, the people who put in the money in the business. They want to know, how is the financial performance? Are we making losses? Are we making profits? What is the financial position? And then the bankers would want to know, if we advance this loan, is the company able to, you know, able to pay up the loan and stuff like that. And then also the tax guys. if you don't have financial statements that are prepared, the tax guys are going to just estimate.
True.
But if you have these financial statements prepared by the qualified guys, the opinions are there, you get the right tax liability to pay and stuff like that. Yeah. So also as the institute, we organize various forums such as the Public Finance Management Conference, which is this month, right?
Yeah.
And then we have also the CPA Economic Forum. Now these are platforms which generate recommendations that fit into the economic policy decisions. So through these events, we generate proposals which make an input to our national and national budget and policies. Yeah. For example, in one of the economic forums, we were able to make recommendations to the government as far as debt management was concerned, and also concerns to support the SMEs. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about policies and acts that presently do exist to protect accountants, but also to enhance their placement in the sector, both private and public, and how effective has that been in ensuring that accountancy is, well catered to?
Thank you. If you read Section 34 of the Accountants Act 2013, it requires that if you have to be head of a department in the public sector or a public interest organization, you need to be a member of the institute. And to us, that is a very important clause to make sure that public interest is protected. The laws that manage financial institutions require that those positions are occupied by professional accountants. Listed companies must have professional accountants in their employment. If you go to capital markets, we ensure that, and they will vet them. The central bank will vet the CFOs. The insurance regulatory authority will vet whoever will be the CFO. So those rules are very important, and they are enshrined in addition to being in our act, they are also enshrined in their laws and regulations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, the 40th graduation of the ICPAU students is upon you. Yes. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And there are many ladies.
There are many ladies.
Yes.
Moreover, even on the top positions.
Oh wow!
In the different papers.
All right. Okay, that leaves the challenge to the boy. We have to bring them up equally. But let's talk about that, Professor.
Yes.
Tell us more about this graduation coming up and the other program that you mentioned coming up later on this month.
Okay. The graduation today is when we have the 14th ICPAU graduation ceremony, and here we are looking at the students, the graduates that completed in the May sitting and also the December sitting, right? Yeah, and we have a number of among the top students, we have a number of them being the females, and we are so excited about this. And then I'd like the Director of Education to comment on the number and then the flow of the program, which starts straight away from here.
Okay.
Yeah. We have, as the Professor Aurora has mentioned, we have our 14th graduation ceremony taking place this morning at Imperial Royal Hotel, and we have 250 graduates. I'm sure they have started flowing in this morning. In addition, we shall have those in the year 2023 who are the top students. In each subject, we pick the top student. They will be receiving their merit awards. And these merit awards are sponsored by various stakeholders, especially accounting firms. So those students who are the top students will receive their merit awards. We shall have a guest speaker and a chief guest who will inspire these graduates to go out in the field and serve as professionals. Our president will be presiding. Our president is CPA Josephine Osia. She will be presiding over the function and the graduation. Then we shall celebrate it with a cake. We shall cut a cake because every milestone must be celebrated. Yeah, and we think we should be through by midday so that the stakeholders can go and continue with the celebrations.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations on that note. Yes, Professor.
Yeah, so that is it about the graduation. And then about the Public Finance Management Conference, this is scheduled to take place on 19th to 22nd March. And it's going to take place at the source of the Nile Hotel in Jinja. This is a forum that attracts mostly those who are working in the public entities, and the theme for this time round is enhancing public financial management for service delivery. And this has come timely because we are looking at how do we improve service delivery in these public entities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that comes timely, given the front page of the Daily Monitor this morning, giving you a breakdown of you know, public offices and how much is spent here and there on the different activities and of course programs that they do have under their offices. Now, there's something also intriguing that you had mentioned, auditors and other elements of the profession. Let's talk about in detail those particular others, because when we hear ICP PAEB, we know accountants, but I know that there's auditors in there, there's also people, other players in the finance element. And so why do all those have to take on those courses that you mentioned?
I haven't got that quite clearly.
Because you do have the accountants, the general accountants, but
yes.
I also got the information that you do have auditors.
Yes.
That also have to take on these courses. Is it a must, by the way, for them to also go undertake these courses? Yeah. And perhaps any other, you know, finance-related player in that regard.
Okay. A holder of a CPA, yeah, can offer either the accounting service or the non-assurance services. That's where now you have things like offering business advisory services. Otherwise, the general thing is that these CPAs, when they graduate, they're supposed to, you know, come out like to be the accountants, do the accounting roles, okay, do the financial reporting, and also the auditors give assurance to the financial statements, give opinions. But then there's also the element of the tax, doing the tax services, filing taxes and giving tax advisors, and then also the business advisory. We need all these services. So there's the assurance bit and the non-assurance bit. And so this person we have molded as a CPA can do all this.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Giving the closing remarks to the director here, the contribution overall to national economy as we close.
Thank you. I remember way back in '98 when I joined the institute. Getting the government producing its own financial statements will take about 3 years. But now, after 3 months of the closure of the financial year, the Accountant General is ready and the Auditor General can now audit the financial statements. I think we've done a lot in that area. If you go to almost many institutions now have professional accountants. If you go to the Uganda Revenue Authority, you will find many professional accountants. If you go to these entities, authorities, many entities have professional accountants who help to advise. Even the private sector has, and the academics, we have many professional accountants. Maybe I should mention, take off from Professor what she said. The CPA syllabus produces an all-round accountant, and specialization is in the field. Whether you are going to do audit, whether you are going to do tax, whether you are going to do business advisory, it is in the field, but they are all round, they are all trained, they have the same training.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. John Bosco Ntangaare, Director Education with the CPA, as well as Professor Laura Orobia, Chairperson with the Public Accounts Examination Board. And so to you who wants to professionalize your line of work, this is the place to go to. Graduation is on today, meaning that intake is open up for those that are coming up in the next intake. So get registered now and today. That brings us to the end of this discussion. Do stay with us for more discussions.